Good afternoon, everyone. Happy Friday. My name is Sarah Burr, and we are going to be doing another Create in Canva session this afternoon. For those of you who joined me earlier in the week and are here, welcome back. We're going to be hopefully moving a little bit faster than we did earlier this week. Because I have some work that I need to get done in Canva, and I want to make sure that I can clock out right at 5 o'clock to start the weekend. So we are just going to hang tight for a moment while folks log into the stream. Feel free to ask questions as we go through. To ask questions, you just need to be logged into your YouTube account, and anything that I can help with, I am more than happy to assist. So, again, we'll give everyone a minute to come on, and I will take a drink. And while we are waiting, I'm going to go ahead and share my referral link with you all, just in case if you are new to Canva. I'm going to post that right in the chat for you. With this link, I believe we each get a free premium image, so that's always fun. And what we will be covering today, during our first session, we really focused on, I was preparing some materials for a 99-cent ebook sale for one of my books, You Can't Handle the Truth. Today, I'm going to be more focused on just like everyday social media content, one that's like a writing update for my followers, and then preparing for my weekend, because I like to create my designs ahead of time, and so that I can schedule them using the Meta Business Suite, so that they're posted to Facebook and Instagram so that I don't have to worry about it. Thank you very much, Leah. I appreciate that. I am hoping, so I paired the graphic design with it's a website that's very similar to BookBub, but much more accessible, it seems, these days, at least for independent authors, than BookBub is. It's called Written Word Media. For folks that are independently published or are able to work with their publisher regarding sale dates and sale prices for ebook sales, definitely check out Written Word Media. I've had great success with running campaigns, whether it be a free ebook or a 99-cent ebook sale. The thing I really like about Written Word Media is that you schedule the date that you want, and you purchase that ad space, and it allows, for me, it's like you don't have to submit anything, you don't have to go through an editorial review and whatnot. It's just like, I want this date, and first come, first serve. So Written Word Media, if you're able to check it out, definitely I would suggest it, because it's a great distribution service. So thank you, everybody, for joining me today. I'm hoping that today's session is going to be much more like me doing work. I didn't get as much accomplished as I wanted to during our first stream, mainly because I was just sharing all the amazing things that you can do in Canva. However, I want to show you the power of like how quickly you can move around in Canva once you take the time to configure things with your brand kit, with uploading images, all that good stuff. So I think while, we're going to get started, because I'm ready for the weekend. Hopefully everybody's ready for the weekend. Feel free to follow along in Canva, and of course, if you have questions, go ahead and put them in the chat. I will answer them as I see them, which I think it's always a little bit delayed, so I apologize. So for today, I'm going to start off by doing a post that I post to my social media quite frequently, which is just a writing update. And I'm going to make this one from scratch, even though I do have a template that I normally use. And if I pull that up here, scrolling through all of my stuff, here we go, in my massive Instagram daily features file. I've been working on my next book in the Glenmeyer Wynn mysteries that's called Too Much to Candle. So what I do is, I update my social media followers who are interested in how I'm coming along in the book itself, and where I am in the process, and especially where this book I independently publish. I have much more control about what my timeline looks like and all the good stuff going on behind the scenes. So it's much easier for me to really have a good grasp on the information that I can deliver to my followers. But because I am going to start from scratch, this is the template that I normally work from, but I'm going to design something from scratch here, just so again, you guys can see how quickly things can come together once you start working in Canva frequently. So I'm going to go ahead and I just clicked on that little plus tab up here to get my untitled design. I've selected the Instagram post, which is the square. I mentioned this last time. I'm particularly moving to square images because they look better on the Instagram profile grid rather than just cutting off the edges. I would do a rectangle because I had more space to utilize. But because things look much crisper when they are confined in that square, and Facebook is really moving in the square image direction, it didn't used to be that way. I've since reverted all of my images to squares, so that I can just have that uniform look. So for this particular post, because it's a writing update of oh, my life as a writer, I'm not trying to actively sell my book, even though in reality I'm trying to get people hyped for the second book to come out. And if they're realizing, oh, this is the second book, I should pick up the first book, which happens to be 99 cents today, so I can make this a sales post, even though what I'm really doing is delivering just an update in regards to my writing life. So to get things started, I'm going to go over to the photos section, and I am going to just search writing. I use stock photography a lot in these instances because it's just much easier instead of me trying to stage a photo here at my home. So that for these particular these types of posts, I really lean into using stock photography, and that's why Canva is amazing, because I have access to this huge stock photography library. So I'm just going to take a look at what my options are to begin with. I love things with the distressed wooden background, so I might keep that. Ooh, I love things with flowers, so I'm gonna just add another page here and drag this image over so it automatically becomes the background, rather than clicking add page, adding this, going ahead, right clicking, set image to background. It's one less click. And so I've got that option. Scrolling through more, I always have to make sure, are these a man's hands or are these a woman's hands? Let's see. I also like this one because one thing, if you have a relatively blank image that you're working with, you can add additional graphics to either animate the image and or just make it brighter and more vibrant, more in line with your particular brand. So I'm going to shift this over. I can't decide if I want marshmallows in my image or if I want kind of half a coffee mug. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to detach this from the background. I am going to shrink the image somewhat, and then I'm going to use my color picker tool to match this stark white background with this white background. So I'm just going to go ahead and select the background, click on that white background color, go to my color picker option, and let's start here. So you can see like I've got, it's a little bit, doesn't quite line up. So I'm going to play around with making the color a little bit brighter. Let's go over on this side. And then here. All right, so I'm going to stick with this. I know that we can see the line that separates here. However, I'm going to use some magic to make that disappear. And how I'm going to make that disappear is I'm going to rely on my wonderful, my go-to, the smear. We talked about this the last time. I absolutely I don't know what it is about this particular this workflow that I love, but I always fall back on relying on this because it blends things so well together. Because Canva doesn't have a robust like in Photoshop, how you can blend things together with a paintbrush and such. Canva doesn't have that particular feature yet that I know of. They did release a draw option, which I have used with mild success. But this is just, it's easy enough for me to deal with. And because I already have that white color selected, you can see that I bring it down, and that line that I had before that was separating my colors isn't as harsh. You can definitely still see it. If I zoom in just a little bit and make it bigger, you can definitely still see it with that separation. But once we start adding in enough items such as fonts, maybe some stickers, animated stickers, that will blend into the background and we'll be good to go. Let's see, the dark look and the guides. Oh, so this is I have mine set to dark mode on Canva. It's the setting that I think is under settings. Oh, I don't want to give you too much information on there. But if you go into your account settings, you'll be able to switch it over to dark mode, because it's much, for me at least, it's much easier to look at that with my eyes, because I have horrible eyesight and it's not as strenuous. So if you just head into your account setting information, it should be available there. Yeah, under this particular area. Let's see. Yeah, under themes. So choose how to appear. It's literally under the account information. And I like to do dark. It's a recent option. So, and actually, literally as of today, the tabs up at the top, I think during my last stream, they were white. And so now they've finally moved over to full dark mode. I also will let you know, I'm using the Canva desktop application. Most people, I don't know actually, Canva is a software that is accessed through your browser. You can log in under Chrome, Edge, Safari, what have you. So anytime that you're in a browser, you can log into Canva. For some reason, I just prefer the desktop application. I have no idea why, to be honest. It basically looks the same when you're working in the browser window. It's just my personal preference to use the app, and so that's also why it might not look exactly what you're used to seeing on your computer screen if you are logging in through the desktop, or sorry, through the browser. Okay, so back on this particular image, my goal is, it's just a writing update to let my followers know, how far I've gotten in my book, in the manuscript for the first draft, and to kind of tease that I've got something in the works. And then I would probably, in the caption, talking about how I would frame this, I would have the graphic have some information in it, but I would spend actually a lot of my I guess trying to debrief for the day. I guess that's kind of how I frame these particular posts, where I'm just debriefing about, this is all the stuff that I dealt with, to give people an inside, both writers and readers as to my personal workflows and my process, and in the hopes that maybe somebody will be like, oh, I never thought of doing that before. Let me try it, and maybe that'll help them. Or, they just needed to see that, wow, somebody else is struggling in this. Like, great, I don't feel so alone, because that's, again, like something that I feel very passionate about on my social media. Like, yes, I post a lot of great things about what's going on in my career, but I also like to keep it as real as possible to let people who are struggling know that, like, it's not all filters and glitter. That this stuff is hard. So I try to make my social media a safer place in that respect. So let's get to work designing on the update. I'm going to head to my text section. We talked last time about brand kits. I utilize brand kits all the time. Because this is for my Glenmeyer Wim Mysteries, I'm going to switch over to my Glenmeyer Wim Mystery brand kit. But already I know that looking at the fonts that I have selected for, like, the themes of my of this series, where I'm also leaning into, this is my writing life. This post is, like, meant to show, like, okay, this is what's going on for me as a writer. I may bounce back into just my regular author brand, just to say that somebody sees I love this font, and I use it all the time on my website. It's like all over my website. It's all over posts where it's like me just having a real chat with people on social media. So I'll probably lead with this and work from there. So it's not going to be anything, we're not creating Shakespeare here. So I'm just going to give myself a heading of, let's see, oh my gosh, word count update. A caveat, I am horrible at spelling, so I very much struggle with typing. So just bear with me as I figure out what my words are. Word count update, and let's move into the body. And what did I get to? I got to 61,000 words today, which was huge, because my goal for the entire month was to get to 60,000 words. So I'm, like, really in a good spot for this first draft, which is really good, because I also got an update from the publisher for my upcoming book blogger mysteries, that my edits from them should be back by this month. So I have a little bit more that I'm juggling in the writing, on the writing side, than I originally expected to. So I'm glad that I got this far in the manuscript, because this is a hot mess of a manuscript right now, where things are just all over the place. So I need all the time that I can get to finish it and edit. Okay, so I've got my 60 word update. And then what I like to do is just a little teaser in the image itself of, like, hey, this is something, or a goal that I accomplished during this writing session. It doesn't have to be a big and, like, huge insightful goal. It's just something to kind of tease people into reading what's in the caption for more details. So in this instance, I was like, the bad guy. How do I phrase villain? That's the word. Villain. Although they're figuring it out, so about to. I, like, ended at the most, like, I'm gonna stop moment while I was writing today, because it's like, as soon as I don't know for you guys, but when once I have the villain found out by my main character, I just, like, cannot stop typing. And, like, one time I, like, did this at maybe, like, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and I was writing up until, like, 10:30 at night, and I was like, I have to stop before, because I'm doing the stream and I can't get caught up in things. So I, like, stopped at the perfect moment. So I'm hoping that Monday is going to be the day that I get to the end, because that would be amazing. Okay, so my villain is about to be unmasked. I've said what my word count is. I'm just going to say, I don't like the update word. I'll just say writing progress. All right, and now it's time to make it look a little bit more exciting and pretty. So I'm going to go in and let's start with my font colors. I already have my author brand colors displayed here, so I'm going to stick with my purple. I love my trusty purple. And I think where I'm going to make this like exciting is in the elements around the words. So we're going to go on a hunt for like some sticker images. And here we go. Okay, so that's my text. Let's go into the elements section. And you'll notice here that the elements has recently in Canva become like an all-in-one place where you can search photos, graphics, videos, audio all at once. When I go to the elements section, I'm specifically looking for graphics because I just go to the other places for those. So I'm going to start by searching for corners because I want to frame all of this white space up at the top and give it a little bit of pop of color. Ooh, this one's moving. Let's try that. So let's first, I'm actually going to filter down and do animation. Some animation corners so I can take a look to see what else I have here. Those are white, those are going to fade away. That's not really a corner, so I think I actually have the best option, although this one is kind of cool because of the color difference, but it is hiding, so I can come up here and flip it around to see if that makes it any better, but all right, hold on. I gotta do a little, do I like something along this line? I guess I have to move this all the way here. Or this. Yeah, that one's too much. I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna actually, because the colors are pale enough that they mix with what's going on down here, I am gonna just make it a little less transparent so it's not overwhelming. And then because I have this little teaser of like the villain is about to be unmasked, like let's take a look at masks on here. Those are creepy, so let's do some static masks instead. These are, oh, not that kind of mask. We've had enough of that. Ooh, this one's fun. All right, so the villain is about to be unmasked, even though like they're not wearing a mask. And because of the colors, I'm gonna make this all one color. And let's do my purple. So that we're tying all of these colors that I'm using into my author brand kit that I have. So that folks know when they see this, like, oh, Sarah's the purple crazy lady. So we've got, of course this is an image from her. She does purple with everything. Okay, so there, I have this like nice little motion graphic going on in the background. It's different than what I have posted, so I'm gonna zoom back to, this is the template that I have been using for my series up until now. So what I could do is actually utilize, because this is the title, I'm gonna go in here and I'm gonna switch over this this font to align. Ooh, no, I don't like that one. I don't like how the zeros are super tiny. So I'm going to go ahead and undo that. Maybe we'll try here. See if it looks better from this angle. There we go. Okay. So a couple things to note here. Because I am kind of mixing and matching fonts that I have associated with either me as the author or my book themselves, I'm really leaning into that brand, and so it makes for a nice like continuity on and looks good on my Instagram profile. So I'm going to switch this over to a different font as well, so that another thing is you don't want to have like too many curly fonts that are different in style, because it can be hard for somebody to read and figure that out. So you'll notice that I have like these two fonts are pretty generic and straightforward, but then this is the one that gets a little kooky. You don't want to overwhelm people with having multiple crazy fonts all over the place. I'm even stretching the rules a little bit by having 3 different font types on one image. I like to try to keep things to 2 most of the time, but in this instance, you know, we're having fun. It's Friday. Let's show off some more fonts. So I've got this nice little writing update graphic that I just go up to. I'll go ahead and delete these 2, even though I really liked that one with the flowers. Actually, I'm going to keep that around. And so one thing that I like to do in Canva, if I find things that I like while I'm creating, I can either throw them into one of my folders. So like here's my author brand folder. I can look at the images that I've saved like over time while I've been working. You can add images on the fly into those folders. However, the easiest thing for me is I just like put the image into the project that I'm working on. And because I tend to keep all of my projects in the same place, I just like have these images readily accessible and can always reference them from that area. And so you might be thinking, well, Sarah, what are you going to do because you have these 2 separate items that are now a part of like a different project? What I can do is I can go and I can copy everything in this page, and I'm just going to come here. I'm going to add in a new thing, delete this one, go ahead and paste it in. And then I have like this all ready to go. It's been integrated into my like daily features project. The same thing goes for this beautiful little drawing, or not a drawing, photograph. I'll just go ahead and add in, and there. So now everything's merged together. I could even delete this if I wanted to. But before I delete it, I am going to go ahead to share. I'm going to download, and a couple things to note here, because this is page 2 and this is the only page that I want. I want to make sure that I select the only page that I'm interested in for this particular project. And because it is animated, I want to make sure that my item that I've selected is MP4 video. And awesome, I have my writing update all ready to go. And what's even more cool is that the next time that I want to do a writing update, I have this template ready to go. I can just switch out the number of words that I'm doing, as well as what I'm typing here. You know, so thinking about hopefully in the future, it's like I wrote the end today, and I could put that in and say the end, and then I could swipe out this graphic with, let's look to see what they have for writing graphics. Ooh, I could even do an animated graphic if I wanted to. Yeah, so let's do this one. Swap them out. Even though I have this, like, I wish my, I don't actually I don't like the hand being there. Here we go. So there, I could be ready. Let's say I clock in at 70,000 words, and then I have like a writing progress thing really all ready to go. I can swap images in and out on the fly, makes it very easy and going forward. So that'll be something that I'll be posting later today, just to like wrap out my week and let my followers know where I am at in my writing journey. And because it is Friday, I am also looking to create some images ahead of time for the weekend. And even though like the weekend is the time for people to really catch up on social media that they've missed during the week. For me, it's like I like to stay away from it as far as possible because I need the time to recharge. So that's why I like to do it in advance. Rows are folders available in the pro version only? That is a good question. Let's go to projects. I'm honestly not 100% sure. I think that they would allow some type of folder, but let me see. I can Google. Let me see. Canva folders pro. It says that unlimited folders are only available through the Pro option. So it's quite possible that they limit the number of folders that you have with the free one, if they allow you that at all. However, one thing, I actually myself only started using folders very recently because for the most part, everything that I do is managed through designs. And you can see like I hardly like have anything in full. I'm looking for something that says that it's in a folder and I can't find it at this point in time. So I will like folders definitely are extremely helpful. To me, they're not the end game when it comes to Canva, because you can manage everything from the design itself. But if you are looking for folders, it does appear that at least for that option, again, it would be available here under this projects, and then clicking add new, and if that folder option isn't there for you, then I guess that it's not available in the free Canva. All right, so my weekend posts. I have to figure out exactly. I'm gonna work from the same workbook here as we continue. I'm gonna do a couple different ones based on my different book series that I am currently juggling, just to give people that like little reminder, like, hey, it's the weekend, you need a book to read, here's mine. So I'm going to start off with, I'm going to use the my Follow Me for Murder book, and where I'm going to start off in is a folder that I have a bunch of mock-ups of my book where it's like already created in a design. It's our like all the work basically has been done for me, which is really nice and makes things on the weekend extremely easy. So I just have to pick the right image for what I'm trying to convey. And let's see, it's what's going to be March 12th, middle of the month. March is such like a long month that kind of drags on. So maybe I should lean into something that needs something fun and not as, we're tired of winter weather. Let's lean into something that's more bright and summery. So let's see. Here's a beach one that I have. I like that it does have the cell phone. All right, let's go in this direction. So I'm gonna go for a like dreaming of the beach, head to Central Shores, where the sun always shines, or something along those lines. So I've got my image already, my basic image already created for me. Honestly, if I was really in a bind, I would literally just have this image. I would upload it to Instagram and Facebook. I would put up my like purchase link in the caption, say something maybe about the beach, and could leave it at that. But I do want to be a little bit more personal with and suggestive, I guess, with the image, and like making sure that people know like, hey, like you should pick up this book and pretend to be at the beach with it. So that's why I'm going to add a couple more details to this image itself. So I'm going to start off with a little thought bubble. I talked about how much I love the smear. I also love the bubble because it basically creates a sticker, a button that I can play with and make updates to. And so I'm going to switch over. Going into my text section, I'm going to go to the Trending Topic Mysteries series brand that I have. I'm going to start with my heading, and let's see. Dreaming of the Beach. I am going to definitely be changing this font, but for now I'm just going to copy paste the text box and keep going. Head to Central Shores. Head to the sands of Central Shores. There we go. All right. Because my book takes place is a beach, at a beach town. Okay, so now I have to work on sizing, positioning, making sure everything looks good. To start off with, I'm actually going to enlarge my mock-up that I have and give myself a little bit more room for text. So you can see that I dragged the image more towards the, to cut off more of that cell phone pocket that they had, just so that I free up some additional space in this area up here. I'm going to make my bubble a little bigger. I'm going to tilt it a bit so that I have a little bit more space to work with. All right. Now I have to work with fonts. So one thing I will say about this particular brand kit, mostly this brand kit was created because I needed to remember what the title and the series text was, which is play script and whatever this one's called, Kite One. I just needed to remember that for myself. So what I actually, when I'm creating for the Trending Topic Mysteries, if I go into the fonts menu itself, I actually have a bunch of uploaded fonts that I've selected for this particular book that I tend to lean more towards in my actual designs. But I just keep the title font and the subtext font, so it's I remember that myself because I would never be able to figure out going to this huge list of fonts which was the one that looked like my book title. So because I'm saying dreaming of the beach, head to the sands of Central Shores, I want something that's whimsical and fun, so I'm going to start off here, whimsical, fun, but also still easy enough to read. And I'm already probably not going to use this one because the size, if I wanted it to be more legible, I'd have to make the size bigger, and then we get into positioning issues. So I'm going to skip that one for now. Here we go. I have been loving this one. So you can see that my font size is much larger, even though they were the same size 2 seconds ago. It's much larger, much clearer, and it's easy enough for my viewer to read. And because I'm just going to move around my little bubble a little more to get as much space as possible. I'm not going to have this be the same as this font because I do want that kind of answer, call and response. I don't know if anybody was in chorus back in their high school days. I just remember the call and response where somebody's posing something and somebody's responding, and that's how I like to operate when it comes to the slogans and things that I'm putting on my designs. The one that I created on Tuesday for my book being on sale, I have at the top a question that I'm posing to the viewer and then kind of giving them a resolution that maybe they'll come across in the book. So that's kind of how I like to draw people into the designs that I create. So I've got my question and then I have my response. Let me go ahead and select a font that complements the top but is distinctive enough, ooh no, not that one, is distinctive enough that they can know the difference. That's almost too much. That's almost too similar. Ooh. Here. All right, we're gonna start with this, and as I am putting this together, I want to have this Head to the Sands of be a little bit smaller than Central Shores. So I'm gonna break up the, I'm gonna break up the text boxes so I can adjust them to be different sizes. So I've got Central Shores in a separate text box, so it operates off of its own font size. And therefore I can make it a little bit bigger and more prominent on this image. Gonna align it. I think I'm gonna make this even a little smaller, but drag it down so that we're closer together. Perfect. And then group them up so that the lines all are here. All right. Excellent. Okay. So I've got my text, I've got my background. This background color needs some work. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna try, I'm gonna pull off of this color of the hat in the cover and start there. Ooh, that is bright. Bring the transparency down. So if something is too bright, my go-to is either, adjusting the color in the color picker, or starting off with trying to adjust the transparency so that it's not as in your face. But I'm also seeing another option that we could use. If I click this edit image, I could, do I have the option to, I guess not. I guess for this particular one, I was gonna see if I could blur it out, but they don't have the adjust sliders on this edit image factor, which is fine. Let me actually look at the color mix one. Well, I could do rainbow. No, not as bright as I need it to be. Okay, so I'm gonna start off. I'm gonna work with this for a little bit. I've got my transparency down so that it's not as bright in your face, but it's still oh, that's pretty arresting. So I need to work with making the font and the words on that bubble stand out a little bit more. My go-to, without a doubt, for making something stand out is this neon filter. So from your text window, you've got your text selected. You're going to go up to effects. Effects are so wonderful for making your image have depth. And I talked a lot about having depth in an image because it draws your viewer in, because they're seeing that's not just this flat image that really doesn't have a lot popping out and grabbing someone's attention, but having that depth, having that realism as much as possible, that 3D-ness is really, is really eye-catching. So I'm always doing something with my fonts to either, make them stand out, lift them, have a shadow behind them, give it some type of life other than just being flat up against the image. So for instances like this where I need things to pop, I love to use the neon filter and drag the intensity all the way up to 100, because what I get is a really bright white that is framed by in this instance, it's framed by a black shadow. But that I don't need to have it necessarily be a black shadow. I can come to my text color, and what I like to do to help support the vibrancy of the red is I start with that red that I've been using. I go to my document, the color picker in the document area, and then I just start to drag it down a little bit towards the darker color spectrum, so that you can see here in the image that if I went all the way down to the bottom where it's black, it's the same thing that I had before. But if I bring it up just a little bit into that darker red, it's still popping out at the viewer, but it's not as stark, and I don't know, it looks like it blends together more consistently. So I like to use the color background that I'm popping off against, and then just like darkening it a bit so that there is that shadow, that depth. So I want to do the same thing in this Head to Sands of Central Shores. If there are a couple ways to do this, I could just basically go to Effects, go to Neon, drag up the intensity, make sure that I have my font color set to that purple color. Or another option that I have, because that was a couple clicks, is I can come to the menu up at the top, my little toolbox. There is a tool that says Copy Style. Once I select that, I have in theory copied what this configuration is, where it says Head to the Sands of, and I click on Central Shores, and everything reconfigures, and all that I have to do at that point is then drag Central Shores to be the size that I need it to be, and make sure that everything is positioned how I want it to be positioned. So that you have a couple different options for that configuration. Really, either way it's kind of 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. So whatever your preference is. I love that copy feature, this copy style, but because like I have my window so big and blown up, it's zoomed in so much, I have this like more buttons that I have to click on, when I think if I had this set to the right, like 100% view, everything would be up at the top, so I wouldn't like forget about it subconsciously. I tend to forget that copy style thing is up there, so I often am just like clicking around and adjusting things. But it's a great tool, and I wish I could drag it to like be right here so that I could always see it. Okay, so I've got my Dreaming of the Beach, Head to Central Shores. I'm going to make these just a little bit bigger. And I'm trying to think, if anything else needs to be added to this for right now. I could, one thing that's really cool, just to show you guys this, is under the elements, if you have a particular retailer that you are trying to push. So like, let's say that there is a sale maybe on Barnes & Noble, Kobo, Audible, what have you. You can search a lot of retailers, and they have their logos available in Canva. One that I obviously use a ton is Amazon. So I have the Amazon logo that I'm able to just like smack on to things. I have opinions that might be controversial on this factor. If your book is available at all retailers, I don't bother putting retailer information on an image unless I'm trying to drive it to a specific retailer, because nobody wants to see an image that's got Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Kobo, like all of these places on it. It's chaotic looking. It's more of a hindrance than a help most times. However, if you are, trying to drive a particular retailer sale, or like, let's say for my KDP series, like I want people to know that these are available to read for free on Kindle Unlimited. In those instances where it's like a one retailer thing, definitely feel free to showcase the retailer on the image itself. There isn't, I don't believe, let me actually see, Kindle. So they don't have a like Kindle Unlimited icon. What I personally do is I just have a text box where I type Kindle Unlimited, and I think the font type that I use most often is something called Lado, and I don't know why. I think it's just the one that looks the most like the Kindle Unlimited logo. You have to be very careful about, like, you can't use their logo but like color it differently. So you do need to make sure that you're using like the appropriate types of like colors, and when you're referencing a retailer, I know that information is listed somewhere on the Amazon like Kindle Direct Publishing website. So if you haven't heard of that before, I definitely would recommend checking that out just to make sure that you don't get in trouble. I have never gotten in trouble doing anything, but I say that now and probably who knows what'll happen. So that's why I like to make sure that I'm following the guidelines. So making sure that you use the approved colors that Amazon sets out if you do choose to do retailer specific things. Now, if you were just to use the Amazon logo, that's already been designed and is all set for you here, so you don't have to worry about it. You can literally just go here, put it in the bottom corner, and you're good to go. You don't have to worry about anything. But I am not going to put the Amazon retailer on this because at this point it's like, if people aren't going to go to Amazon to pick it up, like they already know what retailer they're going to go to. So unless there's like a specific sale for that retailer, like it's cheaper on Amazon for the weekend than it is on Barnes and Noble, then obviously that's something to point out to your followers. But I think I'm going to leave it at this as is. Because like you don't have to make these super complex images when you are creating content for your account, as long as it's getting the message across that you want to convey. You're good to go. I think, and even I can contemplate playing a little bit with animations. I do love that. This one definitely looks like whimsical, like dreaming of the beach. But you know what? I'm going to leave it. I know that animations are a big thing. But again, this is like a weekend post that's like being posted to keep activity on my account. I'm going to keep it static. And so this is what I will probably post tomorrow morning. What I will, and when I say post, I will schedule it tonight so that I don't have to do anything tomorrow, because scheduling is great. And it definitely saves a lot of time when you're looking to spend your brain power elsewhere. So a couple things for that scheduled post. What I will definitely lean into is emojis are great in your captions, especially up in that like the top for Instagram, like the top line that's on display in every image before you have to click to expand to see more. The emoji just brings, especially if you have a lighthearted, fun read that you're looking to like convey that it's lighthearted and fun. Like, this is not a true crime novel. This is not a crime noir. Like, this is a book that's not supposed to be super serious. And so like, definitely want to set the right tone with your audience so that they are well aware and well informed about what it is that they are picking up, because you don't want somebody picking up a book that's like, oh, like I expected this to be like nitty gritty and really intense, and have it be a cozy mystery. So try to convey as much about the atmosphere, the themes, the things that really pop from your book in your captions. But again, like, don't feel that you have to go in crazy with your captions. Keep them short as possible. Instagram does limit you to, I think it's 30 hashtags, but keep your hashtag game. Like, I always try to go under 15, just because it can make your post look kind of messy if you've got just a ton of hashtags listed underneath it. So I have my image done. I'm going to go ahead and download that to my desktop for posting later. I'm going to switch it to a PNG file. I always use PNG files for my static images because of the quality of the image. That's just my preference. I think I have to use JPEGs sometimes because the PNG file sizes are quite large, and that can affect upload speeds as well. All right, so I am saving this. All right, so we are at almost 4:30. Gosh, time flies. when you're having fun, because I love being in Canva. All right, so Saturday's post is done. I will do one more post for my weekend. I am going to do weekend, so it'll be Sunday. I kind of want to do one with Evie. So let's do another Evie post, because Evie posts are really great. Evie is my dog, for those of you who aren't aware. She's a total cutie. I am, let's see, right now I'm just looking at photos that I have saved of her, and they always make me smile. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to upload a photo of Evie into Canva. That didn't work because I didn't download it to my computer. Ah. All right, let's start here. Download. The upload feature is this is one spot where you can upload your personal photos or designs. You'll notice that I have a lot of stickers that I have uploaded here, as well as pictures of my books. However, this is kind of like old references at this point, because I work now pretty much from my folders. So like all of my Court of Mystery books are actually found in my Court of Mystery folder, where I have all of my folders listed, Court of Mystery book covers, all that good stuff. So I have those references, as well as all of my like 3D mock-ups that I utilize. I love 3D mock-ups of my books. Like that, I think that again, with that depth and being able to draw people in, these are things that I've imported into Canva. One thing that you can do if you don't have access to being able to import that information, you can create shadows on your images to really lift them off the page. So, and let me just show you how that works. So I've got my image. I'm going to go to Edit Image. And one of the items that's available on the Edit Image page, you have to scroll down into the shadow section. You've got a couple options for like where you want the shadow to be. You could have it to the side so that it's more of like, the light's coming in from one direction, or maybe it's, shining at the top, depending on like what depth of frame works for you best. I think in this instance, this was the shadow. That looks actually much better, and you can go in to modify those by hitting the little sliders that pop up on this image, and you can make the offset much larger, so it's like, whoa, crazy shadow. The blur, you can make the blur like less prominent. I could even change the color, so I could have my beloved purple show here, and so that gives you that sense of depth and frame to make that give you that depth of profile, if you do not have the ability to upload those 3D book images through whatever service you're using. Okay, so let me go back to my uploads, and I'm going to take from my computer, drag in a picture of Evie. She looks a little bit different in this photo than she does right now, because we just got her groomed this week, and she looks like a completely different dog. So I've got a cute picture of Evie popping up here. Because she's so adorable, I don't really have to do much to like make my Instagram posts like something super fabulous. But I will give her a nice frame around her picture. I'm going to lean into, you'll notice that like the colors that I've been using in this particular project have been compiling up at the top. So because I have my the purple that I used in my from my author brand kit, I can actually, without having to switch back to my author brand kit, I can just go ahead and click and pull that over. I'm actually going to do the lighter purple in this instance. Nope, darker purple looks better. And then I'm going to come in and I'm going to just do some editing for her overall picture. I'm going to get rid of that. I think that's one of her little toys in the corner. So I'm just going to make the picture just a little bit bigger. Her face pops out. Go ahead and do some adjustment. If you aren't comfortable or, don't feel like you are like, you don't know what to do with like brightness, contrast, saturation. Canva does have the auto enhance feature that uses the, whatever computer madness it uses to automatically like brighten necessary areas, enhance, bring out colors. For this one, it looks like they added like a little bit more of like saturation in the image to like warm up the tones. I actually don't like that because it makes my carpet look dirty. So what I do is I go to the adjust, and I love to play with my adjustment settings. And let's see, edit image, and let's see, I'm going to bring down the saturation a little bit. And you're like, wait, but now her color is like less vibrant and bright. Well, that's when I can bring up the contrast to really bring out that shine in her fur. I'm going to come down here to the shadows and give a little bit more shadowing, vibrance. Warmth is another one. I swear my carpet is very clean, but for some reason, like, the camera just makes it look very dirty. So I mean, this is what I say, like, when you look at somebody's social media profile and see, what their photo looks like, this is the kind of tweaks that are going on behind the scenes to like make everything look picture perfect. So that's why, like, I again, like, think it's important to be as real as you can in your presence, because like there is so much manipulation that we can do with our images themselves behind the scenes. So it's important to be real where you can, which is why I do tend to spend a lot of time talking about like the struggles that we all face as writers, as authors, putting our work out there in the world, and helping kind of lift the curtain a little bit. So I think that looks good, with how we've got everything framed, positioned, and so what I can do is go ahead and download that to my computer as well. Make sure that I've just got, again, using the PNG file. Oh, you know what? Let's actually add some animation to it just to make it fun. Let's do some hearts. And animated hearts, graphics. So many to choose from. This one's fun. Oh, but I think that covers her head too much. Oh, that's almost, the positioning was like almost perfect for the shape of her head. But I don't like it that much. Let's see. I kind of just want some regular floating hearts, but this kind of works. One thing that, so what would be awesome is if I could like change the color of these hearts, because then I would use them in a heartbeat, pun intended. But because I can't, they don't, like, you can't see them well enough. So in this case, it's not worth it. There are these hearts. Oh. Again, not what I'm looking for. Nope. I might not get to... There we are. It might be very simplistic, but any animation can really like make a photo just come alive, and allows just like that's, it's like, oh, you you catch someone's eye enough by like, oh, there's movement on my screen. What's this about? So I'm gonna make these a little bit smaller here. And there we go. Okay. So I have this ready to go for another weekend post. When I don't typically post a lot during the weekends, just because I think that a lot of people are not necessarily on social media as much as we think that they are during the weekends, but that's could be totally me, and you know, maybe people are just on social media all the time and I'm just like, I'm not. So I don't go overboard with the content that I'm posting. I do though try to engage as much as possible. So like, even though I'm not actively posting, if people are commenting, liking, what have you on these posts, I'm not going to ignore them. I am going to try to engage as much as possible because we want to encourage that. But don't feel that you have to go, you have to respond immediately. Like, carve out some time on your weekend, afternoon, evening, to just touch base with anybody that responded, because that active engagement, and creating that sense of community is another selling factor for your profile, because you could be posting amazing content, but if you have people that are responding to you and you're not engaging with them, like, it's a huge missed opportunity. Especially if you ask a question. I've like commented on posts where someone's asked a question and you answer them, and it's like, okay, and it's not like it's somebody who's like has thousands and thousands of comments. It's like there are 3 other people that responded, and the person that we commented on like didn't take the time to engage with us. So it's kind of like, you definitely have to be smart with how you present the content that you're delivering, because if you are setting people up to respond to you, it's like, well, you do need to make sure that you are being responsive as well. Again, you don't have to respond immediately, but even something as simple as just liking their comment is enough, to just know that it was worth it for them. Okay, so this session we have covered just like a basic, a writing post that you can update your followers with the progress of what you're working on. Like, for me, as a someone who is on social media looking at my favorite authors and looking to see what they're up to, like, updates like this are so exciting for me because it gives me, the reader, something to look forward to, something to keep track of on my end, because of my excitement for the book. So even though it might seem like a very mundane thing that I'm sharing with people, like, readers love to know when to expect the next book in a series. They love to know what's going on. They love to begin thinking about, like, okay, like, she's been posting, and what I've been doing with this particular novel is, while I've been posting my updates, I've been leaving little hints in the graphics that I've been using as to, like, what's happening in the story. So there's like that little anticipation and teasing that goes on to entice people to tune in for when the book finally releases. So that's, and it's also like, we are writing when you're writing, it's a great way to, kind of check that social media presence box by saying, hey, this is what I did today, rather than, coming up with another way to sell your book, because in a way you're selling your future book, as well as anything else that you've written previously. So we did our word progress update. We did a couple images for the weekend to plan ahead so that we can enjoy our time off. Are there any questions or things that you guys would like clarification on, that you'd like to see more of, that before, like, we begin to wind down? I'm looking at, like, my schedule to see, like, what else I could design for you, and and kind of give you some more insight with, I guess I could go into, we could take a look at Reels again, but only if that's helpful, because we had a really long session on Tuesday, and I don't necessarily feel like I need to like keep you here that long. I use Canva Pro. I do the annual subscription, so I end up paying less than $10 a month for it, compared to like other design programs. Like Canva Pro has like paid out for me 100 times over. I do recommend investing. It doesn't have to be Canva, but I do recommend investing in some type of design service, whether it's a person that you are coordinating with that's designing promotional material for you, or if it's something along the lines of Adobe Photoshop if you want to go wild. BookBrush is another option that I also use. That's where I get all of the mock-ups from, because BookBrush makes it so easy for authors just to upload their book cover and like get a image of them. I have like BookBrush items for like every book that I've written. Let me pull up the ones for my Court of Mystery series, because like you'll see, like I have the folders loaded into Canva so that I can, where did I put it? Oh, there, no, it's over here. Folders, I have my instant mockup images, I have all of my different books in the Court of Mystery series, so that again, like if I'm ever like hard pressed for time, it's like, oh, I gotta post something, I can come, oh, I'm gonna post something about Harrowed Air, go ahead, put it in the background, and basically I have an image all ready to go. And again, this is something that you don't even need Canva for. I just like kind of take it one step further by, I can, come in and add elements myself. I can put in logos. I can, I'll put in my logo for the Court of Mystery series. Yeah, so I could like throw my logo on here. Oops, I'll do the one with the background. And you can like make it a little bit even more personalized than it already is. So that is another amazing service. And BookBrush also does a lot of webinars for their authors to like show them how to use the platform. They're very user friendly. The only reason why it's not my primary program is just because like I learned Canva before I discovered BookBrush, and so I was already comfortable working around in Canva, but there's a lot of stuff that you can do in BookBrush, the very same that you can do for Canva. I think for now, that's pretty much what I wanted to cover today. There's so much I always like think of what I wanted to share like after I'm done. I haven't done anything that's like too video specific in regards to like making edits of a video. We did a little bit of that on Tuesday where I put together like a very short reel. But I already had the video created that I had gotten of Evie. But I have made a lot of reels in Canva that are just like stock photography. Let me go ahead and I'll pull them up just to showcase. Oh, I did one for this. I don't even remember. I don't remember doing this one. Yeah, that one's not good because there's like way too much text in it. Reels is like still a very new forum for me to be working in. I mentioned this earlier that like Evie's like the only thing that really gets attention on Reels for me. But I have found that these edits where like you're creating basically collages of your book's themes, I have found that those are eye-catching and people are, it gets views. I haven't seen it really convert to sales all that much, but it definitely has converted into followers and to people engaging in my on my social media account. So there is something to be said for that. So maybe that's something that we can look at during another session, because I find that for me, like, it's really just another outlet for me to work and do my work. And if I can help people along the way while I'm working, that's awesome. So maybe, like, we will spend another session really diving into Reels and the video elements in Canva, because the video, they have a video library that we have access to, which is really great. I think that there are free options. There are a couple free options. I don't know if these are actually all free. It seems like a lot of free options. But yeah, so you can pull stock video. It's not just photos. You can pull stock audio, and you can really create some fun things. And so maybe we'll explore that at a different time. But again, if you have any questions for me in regards to what we discussed today, or things from last session, feel free to shoot me an email, send me a message on Instagram, Facebook, wherever is convenient for you. I will try to answer it as soon as I can. But I do like to take my weekends off, so I might be a little slow to respond if you send it after today. But I think with my schedule, I might be back on Monday, just to continue doing these things. I think a lot of what I'm hoping is helpful is just seeing my thought process, and giving ideas and inspiration as to okay, what do I put on social media, and it doesn't have to be a revolutionary like design, or like something that's gonna just take somebody's breath away. Like, literally, some days I post, this is how many words I wrote, and that works because it shows what's going on in my life as a writer, and it helps me stay connected with my audience, even in the littlest way. So I hope that you found it today useful. I appreciate those of you who came to both sessions. Good for you. I hope that they were helpful, and I will be back. Just stay tuned via my probably my Instagram page, or if you subscribe to my YouTube channel, you'll get that notification as well. Again, I will share my let me share my referral link in case that you aren't already on Canva and are interested in checking it out. We get to choose from one of their premium photos, icons, or illustrations. If you use Canva Pro, I don't know how much that really helps because everything's like already accessible for you. However, on my end, it just lets Canva know that I am, showcasing their product. I'm not sponsored by Canva. All these views are expressed are my own. I'm not getting paid by anybody to do this. I just love designing in this program, and want to share that with my fellow authors to help you guys however I can. So with that, I hope you enjoy the rest of your Friday. Happy weekend, and I will see you when I see you. Cheers, everybody.